Hello, my babies, and welcome once again. I am calling the action today. I am Uncle Daddy Joe Stapleton. Co-hosting with me is professional poker player and Run It Ones coach, Andreas Froehli. What's up, buddy? Good to be with you again.
Hey, what's up, Stapes? Happy to be here today. Excited for today's match. Will we touch green again?
Rare to be chatting with you guys on a non-chat pro Saturday. Big pot
Money
on table
goes going
two.
in. 4-bet pot filled with a flush draw, and Gacciadetti gets there with a Jack-8 draw versus aces and a gut shot. Already 20K up.
Yay, Phil, table two.
Yay, Phil.
So Andreas, I have a contact very high up at one of the big sports networks here in America. So yesterday I did write to him and said, "Hey man, I don't know if you guys are looking for things to cover, but here's the story of what's been going on in poker." And yesterday afternoon he got back to me. And you know what he said?
Nah, we do COVID.
He actually said, "Please delete my email address." So yeah, so not really an update on that. Betting half pot on table two. If any calls on one, we've got over 5,000 out there, close to 6,000 on table one. Silent Sound guy says Phil is down 199 euro. This is over.
As it's updated, almost 7K.
There we go. All right, a small one for Phil as he pots it on table one. Over 10K out there now, 5-figure pot.
Vinny looks him up and he's right again.
Yeah, he's got the 7. Three-bet pot, table one, 10-8-4, rainbow, full pot bet from Venividi. And Phil more or less puts Venny all in.
And
there
call.
it is, 40K pot. Venny with the 10-8-2 pair. That holds up.
It's going to be good.
Hello. Welcome to the jungle. 4-bet alert. And that is quite the flop for a 4-bet pot. Ace, king, tray, 2 diamonds.
It's going to be a tough one for Phil. He has to like this board. He goes for the 3rd bet.
Come on, 3rd bet pots are for wusses.
Phil finds the call and the backdoor flush draw card rolls off. So Phil is having that backdoor flush draw. Good chance he's going to continue on this card, but the question is, does he have that type of hand?
Sorry, I hit him, but then they just came through all at once. That was weird. Hello. Phil with the kings. They are good. That is a big pot for Phil Galfond. At the moment, they're table treading water and table drowning.
So it is a little bit a question of how large your budget is to get a story like this out there with all these super big news channels. Like if you'd come up with enough money for them to show it, I guess they would.
My guess is that American sports networks are probably still a little unsure about how the government would feel with them covering online poker.
Well, that part
Like,
is also true. Yeah.
for example, marijuana is quite legal in several states in the US now, but big networks do not mention it. They don't cover it. They don't talk about it. They don't have it in their shows because it is not federally legal.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't want to upset the federal government by featuring that sort of stuff. And that will have an effect on programming as far as poker is concerned as well. Venividi bets full pot. Table Cinderella gets called by Phil. Showdown. That's the nut flush. If there's a showdown, I think that we can see the hand that gets mucked.
Yeah, but that was previously not possible,
Oh, I
right?
see. Got it.
So Phil did have the second nut flush there. King 665.
Our Norlu says this is like reverse yesterday. Yeah, from what I understand, today's a bit of a grind compared to the joy from yesterday. I'm sorry I'm not sparking much joy today. Wow, am I drunk already? One sip. Hey. We do have almost 6,000 in the pot on Table Story as the board pairs for a second time on the river. And a pot-sized bet is the wager from Venividi. Phil calls and wow, takes it with a 10. And Phil takes that one down. And I'm going to hold off on my sip because I think Phil's going to win a pot on Table Cinderella as well. How do you say there, Venividi, Table Cinderella? 1, 2, 3, 4 on the board. And Venny's leading. Andreas, I know when you're playing poker, you're supposed to put your opponent specifically on one hand and nothing else, and I think this is 5-6.
Phil calls, he disagrees. Or he has something that could outdraw it, but
That
calling
is
pot
not
says
a board-changing card.
no. Oh, Vinny piles.
Bam!
Phil
Phil
insta
snap
calls.
calls with
Phil
the
has
5-6.
5-6. Vinny only 5s. There you go. 40K.
You know why? Because blockers aren't real as Phil doubles up for the first time in a long time. Les Moorhead says, what time zone? That is correct. Thank you for your question.
About SPR 2 on a 10-8-4-9. Phil's betting a little more than half pot. Vinny continues. We have a blank on the river. So Phil did half that straight.
Hey, we got one. How about Table Cinderella? Can I get 2 sips for the price of 1?
For story, Phil wins a 10K pot. Let's see if he can take the Cinderella one. He pots it.
That is an all-in, not quite pot. And he does not have,
3/4.
yep, more or less all in. Venividi1993. Tiberius says, come on, Phil, let's start the crushing. Time bank in the tank.
Phil does have it after, yeah, nice. Phil doubling up with the Queen Jack versus the 10s and the 7 blocker to the 7-6 straight. No good. Phil not bluffing this time. Just the nuts. 40K in the chat.
Get your 4.
And the session, Phil, is only down to -3 binds or a little bit under that at this point.
Yeah, what? I'll drink to that.
What, 56, 57K at this point.
Smoky. And we've got another big pot building. Oh, wait, do I, no, there's no air horn for this, right?
4-bet pots is air horn pot.
Yeah, now if this was 7,200 pre-flop, we'd have to air horn it. But for now, I did see money go in on the flop.
I think you with a c-bet, but then with Phil having a few more trips on a turn, checking that one, this time at least.
Phil bets full pot. And is facing a relatively small bet to the size of the pot on table Cinderella. And has put out a relatively big bet to the size of the pot table story. Story win, Cinderella.
Is Phil gonna call a raise here?
If he calls and wins here, this is a verified hot streak.
He just calls. Let's see.
Phil calls and does win. I'm calling it right now. It is a hot streak.
I mean, yeah, he just had a 10 and the straight blocker, and that's it. Then he had a flush blocker, straight blocker, and the pair turning into a bluff. Phil had just slightly a better hand than what Vini was bluffing with.
That was a hell of a call. Phil raising on the turn. Venividi re-raises. Phil with a decision. Was not a pot size re-raise. We don't see these very often. There's the 4-bet.
4-bet.
4-bet alert.
Post flop 4-bet.
Venny
takes it down.
folds. Drink up, MFers. There it is. Ask and you shall receive, monkey fish. A little horn porn for you.
Does that count as a 4-bet pot when Phil post flop 4-bets?
Hell yeah, it does. We've got a 3-bet on the river. Table Cinderella. Sorry, Andreas.
No worries. Phil
Just
calls.
a call. And
with
Phil has a
boats.
full house. Ace is full of deuces. And Venny's full house. Queen's full of aces. No good. I'm not in the prediction business. I'm in the say what you see on screen business. And I see Phil making a heck of a comeback in the overall challenge. And I see him making a comeback even on the micro level today.
I mean, I'm not that confident in Phil winning at that point or something, because he at somebody was at 1.6 or something, so as a favorite on PokerShares. But yeah,
Hey, let's give a quick shout out to Shy Guy for donating some crystals.
Some crystals?
Some of those Twitch crystals.
The bits?
Some bits, 1,000 bits for Farah's Wine Fund.
I think that's $10. Yeah, that's maybe a cheap bottle of wine. I don't know if Farah's drinking what the average wine price is over there.
They're in the couve, right? You can probably get $10 wine in the couve. It's probably going to be not great wine, but you can find it somewhere. Yeah, $10 in Europe goes a long way on wine.
$10 USD is like $100 Canadian dollars, to be fair. Yeah, maybe that's a good thing, right? You get like some more Canadian dollars.
5-figure pot, not a 5-bet pot. 5-figure pot, Table Cinderella. Small pot goes to Venividi. Table Cinderella. What story are you telling?
Venus in the tank, checks it down. Phil has
a 4.
A 4. Yeah, that's very, very close to green.
Hey, Andreas, is that dookie I smell? Because this is officially a green day. Back up into Profitville for the day. Can it happen for the challenge?
And it's his third time after that long red streak. You can see there's a little bit of green and a little bit of red. There's a green glimpse coming up. And then now the definite green. Yeah, I did get the Green Day reference.
That's all right, buddy. We're all in it together. You get some, I get some, Check gets some. Will Phil get some more on Table Story? 13K in the pot. That's right, Prockney. Venny is on the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Welcome to the Green Day. Drink now, says Planor. You're right. I owe you guys a drink. Phil bets full pot, straight flush incoming, says Scooter. Certainly possible. Venividi forced to fold this
2.5K.
pot or call 13,000.
Vinny
Does
calls
call.
quickly. Phil
And he
with
has
the
the nut
bluff.
flush. And we are back red. Look, I mean, Phil's up a lot on Table Cinderella. So Table Story, it doesn't have as much slack it has to pick up, but still, yeah, we'd like to see things move up a little bit more there. As you know, I've been celebrating Phil's wins by imbibing. But as you know, also know what goes in must come out. So I'm going to leave chat in your very capable hands for a few moments, and I will be back just as soon as I can. Oh, pot for Phil. A glug, glug, glug.
Where are you from? Favorite Euro destination? I'm from Switzerland, and it's pretty much still one of my favorite places to be. Or there's going to be places in Switzerland. I sometimes make I've been traveling outside of poker a little bit too, but mostly poker. And Phil, with the big raise, all out of a sudden, Veni with the all-in versus the big check raise on this turn. Phil top two in the flush draw. Veni with the higher flush draw in the top two pair. Free rolling versus Phil, and unfortunately does get those 20K on story. Despite Phil having 3 spades, so I didn't have like many free rollouts. That's yeah, it's a bit frustrating there, but something's gonna happen, of course.
Phil bet a quarter pot, a third of the pot on the flop, and now he is 3-bet. Will Vinny call? Will he fold? Will he put in the 4th bet? There's the 4th bet. Phil's put in a 5th bet. It's horns all around.
In. Phil's winning this one.
Couple of 1199s. Cinderella story. Both check to the turn. DJ Degen says, hey guys, it's OMG Clay Aiken. Yeah, right. That would be cool. Nobody's heard from that guy in years. Still 2 identically sized pots. Venividi pots it in position. Table Cinderella making what I just said a lie. Oh, wait, just kidding. Now Phil's made him even again. Phil folds Cinderella. Story, Venny, action.
It's an interesting one because a lot of, well, they need the check raise even. Phil calls, and
the
Vinny has the
call.
nuts this time. Not seen Phil's hand.
Well, things were looking bright for a while, but they have gotten dark again as of late. Two fairly meaty pots in development. Cinderella up over 8,500. And table story at 15,000 now after it goes bet call on the turn. Phil's going to win at showdown. Cinderella, can he go 2 for 2? And that's going to be a big pot if he wins it. Phil's been more or less been put all in.
Again, in this situation, as Phil said it also on some of the interviews, he's gonna have to be
Chip
good.
it. Let's relive the glory days of 30 seconds ago. Here it is. We have the hands.
I mean, what a pot. I'm just gonna also like talk about the action before.
Please,
Vinny,
let's talk about it. Go ahead. Take it away, Andreas.
limp it in by Vinny with the Jack, Jack, 7 deuce. Oh, well, we see everything. Phil raising it from the big blind. Puts out a small bet, Vinny raising the flop, Phil continuing. Again, having in mind Phil has a set and an open ender. And then Vinny barreling both turn and river. And Phil finding the call. Vinny has the Jack blockers, and this is really interesting because what Phil might be, I mean, this is maybe a hand that I could ask Phil after the session, because
well, guess what? After the session is now,
this
so
might be, this might be it now, because I mean, Vinny limps a specific kind of range, and that range will have a specific kind of jacks, because a lot of these other jacks will go into the raising range. So the question is always like which kind of jacks Vinny puts in the raising, which one he will be limping. And then also, of course, not just the jacks, but also the Jack 8, because it's not going to be just Jack, Jack 8 that he can have. He can have all the Jack 8. He could have maybe some 6, 8 and diamonds, and still barrel off, thinking that Phil would raise again, at least at some point. So yeah, I think that's a very, very interesting spot, because it all started with a limp as one of the last hands, and Vinny quitting here.